We are currently setting up the things. Setting up the things, not mic issues. We're just still in process. We had little prep time today. There we go. Thank you for letting me know, though. Thank you for letting me know. Because if that wasn't the case, oh, I made the mistake of finally updating my MSI command center, and now I swear the fans are louder than they were before. But no, I definitely had problems one of the last times I updated the motherboard and the associated drivers, like audio and whatever else, updated at the same time. Oh, that definitely messed things up. That was not a good time. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, like, all my audio settings were just borked and I had to start over. I don't think we're gonna do the fancy tracking tonight, unless we decide to change our minds halfway through. We have a sick Rusty stream. That's why Mondays was called off. Mondays, whoops, come back here, hands. Mondays was called off due to being sick, and then also today. There, bring the mic back down here. Not sure why that went way up there, or why my hands are. Are my hands here? Yeah, hands are here. Okay. So I will probably not quite as hopefully not quite as chatty, but we'll see. We shall see. You know what? Let's bring back the model with all the props built in. Let's see. This one? Yes, that is this one. Yeah, okay. Oh, yep. We can tell it's this one because of the polygon issue right there. Ah, there we go. We got the color changing. That's what I'm looking for tonight. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling quite a bit better. I think this is also allergy season for me, so on top of having the whole family having colds this last weekend and such. Yeah, I think I swooped right into allergy season, so that's awesome. That's always awesome. Luckily, since moving to the countryside a few years back, my only real allergies are like when the leaves are all budding out. Because we don't have the stuff that I'm allergic to around here. Ornamental city trees and cottonwoods. Interestingly enough, cottonwoods. And if I had any on my property, I would definitely get rid of them. It was definitely the deal breaker. One house we had looked at before we moved to our current house. They had big, beautiful cottonwood trees, like maybe like 5 of them right next to the house. And it's just like, oh, those would all have to come down. Those would all have to come down. It is interesting how you can be allergic to just certain things. You know, it's like, oh, I'm allergic to not all trees or even all of a type of tree, just very specific. Yeah, trees then. Yes. Defenestration, right? No, that's through a window. What's the I forget what the one is. Death by tree. Can't think of that off the top of my head. I made notes. I have my notes. I have poor hand tracking today, so that's great. You know, I bet it doesn't like my sweatshirt again. wonder if we can get by without a sweatshirt. I wonder if it's going to be also picking up the cloth I have surrounding the back of my microphone again, because that was amusing when my hand tracking kept shooting up. I think that was the FTL stream where the my hand just kept shooting way up. This one right here, because that is where my mic is. It's hanging down right here, and I have a actually a little washcloth behind it to cut down on the bounce, the audio bounce. Not that that'll make as much of a difference in the audio quality with today's voice, but every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. In testing, it actually made a quite the difference. And plus, I rearranged my desk some more, so now I don't have quite the same monitor arrangement with all this, plastic shooting sound back at me and bouncing it everywhere. I assume. Still not the, of course, ideal sound booth or whatnot, but that is okay. We weren't shooting for that anyways. Okay, let's see. Make sure our windows are all good enough. Where's this one? There we go. You don't need to see my error messages. I hide that from you guys. All right, what do we got up top? Oh, just that title bar. I could probably crop that out too. Would that work? I've been meaning to do that on the dev stuff. Let's see. Where is my monitor capture? Okay, let's see. So if we cropped out the top, crop top. I think I had scaling issues last time I tried messing with that. Oh, that is interesting. Because you don't really need to see the like the play button and all that. Maybe bring down the bottom a little bit. Oh, that is interesting. That is pretty interesting how it scales. There, that might be good. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because when you hit play, not quite, I wanted to cut out most of this. So if we go down to there, okay, let's try it. Let's try it again a little bit. Ooh. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. Does it show any of that? No, excellent. Excellent. I think I can even stretch the bottom a little bit so it fills back out. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. There, we're doing just a little bit of housekeeping here. It shows a little bit on the side right here. I don't think we can get rid of that. That's okay. That's okay. We can have a little bit of a picture frame. A little bit of a picture frame so we're not scaling funny. Okay, let's lock that down. That is bueno. Excuse me. I will try not to do that too much. There. And you're not really losing too much of the gizmos and whatnot on top of the stream. Probably a bit over here. Yeah, some of that stuff. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask away. Ask away. Okay, today's gonna be a little bit of a low energy stream, but low energy, but we're gonna try coding anyways. So that should be fun. That should be fun. Oh man, why do we have black bars down here? Why do we have black bars down here? Interesting. We're in a cutscene. There. There. Housekeeping done. Housekeeping done for now. We'll call that good enough. I'm okay with a little letterboxing. We have letterboxing up top? No kidding, I think we do. Oh, that is weird. That is weird. Is it not scaled nicely? Huh. It's something I should be messing with off camera. There. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Otherwise, I could fiddle with it all day. It's interesting because it's only... Oh, is that what it is? That's what it is. My crop setting's way over here in the filter. No? No, it's not. Oh, that is curious. It's the crop settings somewhere in OBS. I will definitely mess with that later. One of the important things is that when I go like this and we're in play mode, theoretically, the game screen, that it shows more of the game screen instead of having the big play button on top and all that. It just makes video editing a little bit easier, and that is one of the things I need to work on. More YouTube content and video content for the socials, which really for me, the socials is pretty much limited to YouTube and Blue Sky. I've been rather avoiding the Twitchers. Okay, let's see. We are going to work on script. Finally going to do the equipment stuff because I had some neat ideas and I can't really do that without can't really do them without doing the housekeeping. Whoa. A little bit of housekeeping first. Okay. So first of all, we have to find out where we have our connection points. Did we put them on the avatar or did we put them on main skeleton? Well, let's go find out where we have all our toggles hiding. This way I can cycle through all the inventory type stuff. Oh, it is on the thing. I mean, I am going to consolidate the two avatars when I fix all of that. And when I bring this, I know I've been saying this for like a month or two now, but when I consolidate the project, the factory scene, and then this, we're going to be fixing up a lot of stuff. And the merging of the projects will also fix a bunch of the problems themselves. So that'd be nice. Just by virtue of it all being in one spot, the avatar being cleaned up, because this model is, I believe, even one version behind the VTuber in the corner. Let's see, which one is this? This is F. Yeah, this is G. and and the one we used with the game controls is A. So that's even further back. Let's see, H. H with a couple letters after that is the one that's all cleaned up. And almost ready. Almost ready. Head point. Did I put a script on here? I did not. Looks like I started. Looks like I started to do these things. In which case, I should check some of my scripts. Let's go down to scripts first to make sure I don't cross the streams too badly. Control lights. Control lights. More than just controlling lights. All right, let's load up Visual Studio. Okay, character rig, blah, 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 blah. Another thing I decided to do as part of the whole cleanup of everything is I'm going to make another page on my product key applied. Thank you. And this is why I'm not signed in. It would say, hello, username. Everything likes to say hello, username, and be so personal with you. Although I believe I have it set to Rusty Industries or Rusty Robot Factory LLC or something like that. That's why I'm not going to drag it down now, but my Unity is also logged in as Rusty Robot Factory. Okay, let's see. Game objects. Yeah, we can take all these game objects out of here and it'll be smoother. Less memory heavy. Less memory heavy. Again, not that we have huge amount of memory overhead with everything being low poly, but it's still sloppy. It's still sloppy. This is one of my favorite variables, by the way. When we're hiding the body or not hide the body. If we're hiding the body, don't hide the body. Very important. Very important. Okay, hat. Here we go. So we are here. We are cycling through our hats. Hat 1 set active. Hat 2 set active. So they're hats? I did rename them as hats. Okay. Okay. We are going to get rid of that though. I'm going to make it generic so that every attachment point or equipment slot will use the same script. And I think, I gotta make sure I write this part down. Yeah. Okay, for now we're just gonna put it on here. Let's make ourselves a script, new script. We're gonna call it container. Bam. Let's do some coding. All right. I apologize if I clear my throat a few times. I'll try to hit the mute button if it gets to be a bit. Like, do I have? Oh, I think I renamed something with my shortcuts, and it no longer says muted when I'm muted. Muted toggle. When it's in game. Oh, when it's on the game screen, it does that. Interesting. How about when it's in dev? And when this one's in dev. Apply. Save and close. Huh. Do I not have a muted in this one? Muted right there. housekeeping stream. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, muted. Oh, this is fun. Let's see, make sure it's not showing. Yeah, I don't think it shows external IP addresses anyways. So we are using. Oops. Yeah, let me cancel this. I gotta no. Okay. So we are using Touch Portal. This is what I use instead of a Stream Deck. I would love a Stream Deck or 2 or 3. But this has a couple of advantages and a couple of disadvantages. So this is the PC part of the app. There's 2 halves. There's the host, and then there's the device you're running it on, like a iPad, iPhone, Android phone, Android tablet. I think those are the main things. Mobile device, basically, that either runs Android or Apple stuff. And I like it. I really like it. It's really flexible. Being on a phone, I can bring it all over the place. So I can have it wireless. In the workshop streams, I bring it over to the workshop. It was funny when, I think the last workshop stream at least, had a, let's see. I had the phone that was sending the video. I can control my streams from the bathroom. That'd be great if I'm, also running in, full motion capture too, right? I wonder if, no, that is Bluetooth range. I don't think that'd make it. Or do they go over Wi-Fi? I forget. The phones go over Wi-Fi, but the Joy-Cons go over Bluetooth. So, yeah, full body tracking for me wouldn't quite do it. It's great movement. You always hope it's a great movement. All right, wouldn't have hand tracking though. That's the important part. Where were we? But yes, the Touch Portal. So this arrangement right here is what I see on an old Note 3 or 4. I think it's a Note 4. And it is just enough power left in it that it can run this. So it must be a fairly lightweight app. Everything else seems bloated these days. Getting back to the movement. Anyways, so if you look, here's my shortcuts. Good evening, good evening. We were just talking about bowel movements and motion tracking. Because I can take my Stream Deck equivalent, which is this app, with me on a phone and still control the stream. Because if we go to different page, like if I hit this OBS button, we go into my OBS screen, page, folder, whatever you want to call it. So I can change BRB, gaming, chatting, the replay, mute, start recording, which is super handy for when I'm not streaming, but I still want to record stuff. Because then instead of tabbing over to OBS and hitting a record button, I just tap it on my phone. So if I'm screen capturing, it's not switching between apps, programs. I hate calling them apps. If it's on a computer, I hate calling it an app. I'm just too old school. Yes, slider options. So this is when I can adjust Winamp and the audio when I'm over in the workshop. Very helpful. And muting teleport. Teleport is when I'm using a different computer, usually the laptop that's funny enough still out in the workshop, running an instance of OBS through the network over to this computer to stream it outbound. Yeah, they do. There's also some plugins in here that I haven't played with where you can use TouchOSC, or where you can output to TouchOSC. In other words, you can have like color wheels and stuff too. So that's exciting. I want to dive more into that because for our broadcast software that we're building, the environment, I want to be able to control the interface and such from within a page from here. I might have to get like we have an old tablet. I'll see if my ancient Fire tablet can can run this. It's kind of slow, but that'd be really nice to have sliders for like dimming the lights, panning the camera. That'd be really cool. But yeah, we can do this. In fact, right now, if I move this up and down, it will turn Winamp up and down. So, well, I should say no. If I do this on the phone, it'll do that. This is for setting it up, but it sets it up real time. See, I have one for VTuber Expressions, but I haven't done anything with it yet. So here's my main page. You know, we have the zooming, we have switching over here. That's top left. You know, most of these, the orange buttons, no, they're kind of all over the place. Okay, I was gonna say most of these are OBS, but they're a big mixture of. These are VC Face, these orange ones, and this one. These two are OBS for doing this. I should really color code them better. They were at one point color coded. Dark mode is fun. Ta-da! So if I'm playing a dark game, I can glow in the dark, and it works with the color swap. I think that's all VC Face, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's VC Face. Switching the cameras in VC Face so we can get closer. This angle, that angle. It's all very handy stuff. And if I had a Stream Deck, I'd be pushing those buttons too. But actually, no. Elgato did come out with a Stream Deck with dials. That would be, well, basically the same thing as the sliders here. And there's some neat use cases besides just adjusting the volume too, like dimming the lights, stuff like that. Yeah, no, this is exciting. And you can program the buttons to do all sorts of stuff. It's not tied into one ecosystem. So what I have right here is the button for my mute, which works properly, except there we go. I had the scene, I renamed my scenes a while back. So I have my dev stream, dev scene in OBS. So this orange stuff is OBS. So if the button is on, yes, and it's drag and drop. So mute the source mic, yeah. Show for the scene dev the source muted, and when it's else, unmute and hide muted. There. But yeah, and it's commented. It took just a little bit of getting used to with how it handles certain things, but it's really nice. And it is a one-time payment of, I want to say, $12 or $14. Yeah. So I bought this a year and a half ago, you know, when I started, or before I started. And super useful. Love it. Way more fun. It definitely is. If you have an old phone laying around, yeah, super useful. Are you sure button? Nice. The plug and play buttons. Yeah, you can just drop these on here. Like start recording. They have templates. So like here's Twitch stuff. People have made whole layouts. Like here's the basic Twitch one. Yeah. One of the things I really liked about it is the portability. I mean, do you get the tactile feedback of pressing a button? I think you can do vibration when you tap them, but what I thought about was 3D printing a grid so that there be separators in between all the buttons, because that would give you the tactile grid portion of it, I guess. But then if I would go to the screen with a slider, yeah. Either way, no, that's super useful. It is called TouchPortal. There's another one too. that's very similar, but it didn't work out quite as well for my uses. Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking to try out the OSC portions of it. And OSC is, I forget what it stands for, but it's how, well, it's how I'm already sending some of the VTuber stuff over to, from like VSeeFace over to Unity, I believe. Or are we just using, I think OSC is a protocol. I forget what it stands for. But we are using, oh, it doesn't show up anymore because I hid the menus. I believe that's the protocol on how the tracking data is sent from the phone to the computer and then between different apps on the computer here. I only have one iPhone. I'm an Android guy. So all my older phones that I've kept around are Androids. But for the facial motion capture, I did lurk on Marketplace. Wait, was this Marketplace or eBay? eBay. I think this phone, I couldn't find a decent one that wasn't a scam on Marketplace locally. So I have an old, extremely beat up iPhone 12 Pro? Regular. I think it's a regular iPhone 12. And it works really well. Open sound control, I believe so. It's I think it was originally for controlling like DJ equipment. So you got the lights that spin around and do all that stuff and dimming and yeah. And there are other plugins for Unity where you can do OSC stuff too, like that. Because I was looking into those for controlling the robot. I was this close to controlling the robot via OSC type controls. Yeah, that is facial tracking VMC to OSC to VMC. It's something like that. I think it's because the how all the positional data and rotational data is conveyed, and then you can use it for so much more too. It's very versatile, and boy was it confusing to decode. I'm glad there's plugins for it because I tried one of the early methods for controlling Rusty's servos was listening for the OSC data. Listening for the OSC data on the Arduino, and that would convert it to the servo controls. But I couldn't wrap my head around it at the time. Converting from the VTuber controls to the servo controls, it was quaternions, and I am not a high-level math matrices kind of guy. Yeah. So instead, we're gonna make a script with a bunch of if-thens. Yeah, no, it was I believe it's the calculus part of math that handles vectors and positional data. That's gross. It's the reason I don't have a comp sci degree. Calculus. Yeah. Okay, where were we? Item container. Okay, item container. Let's see. First, we will get the item container, and then we will get the world. Okay, maybe not the world. Well, converting the OSC stuff to usability within Unity, you don't really have to do the math stuff, but you do have to know how to do the Unity part of it. Why are you spinning up? You'd think all my hard drives would be spinning right now. We need to go to some screen cap shots. Screen shots. Wow. Words are going to be fun tonight. Okay. Do. No. Okay. So. Just loading up what I got ideas from. I don't, Morse. I am not an electrical engineer. I am a hobbyist who's dangerous with a soldering iron. There it is. I was looking for that screenshot. There we go. Dangerous with a soldering iron. Though, I joke because I'm a better plumber than I am electrician. And I had to do some plumbing this weekend. I was putting my art metals classes to good use. I'm pretty decent as a pipe solderer. I practice with soldering fine silver and stuff more than, yeah. I'm putting it to practical trade use. I'm not saying jewelry and art metals is not practical. Okay, let's see. Do we need to start? We do need to start. Start is called. I know what start is called. Okay, we need selected item. Logbook and selected item. Let's see how many spelling errors I can make tonight. And then wonder. Got a soldering iron, I'm not afraid to use it. Well, yeah, this weekend we had a few weekends ago, I had a pipe burst in the basement when I was doing all the getting ready for spring stuff. And it's like, here in the upper Midwest in Wisconsin, we have to do a special ritual every fall when you shut off your outdoor water faucets for your garden hose and such. You have a little valve. Usually, hopefully, you have a valve that you can drain the outside line so that it doesn't freeze because it gets very cold below freezing. That freezing leads to burst pipes. So I do this ritual every year. Well, somebody must have been playing with the outside faucet or something, kids. And water must have built up in the frost-proof hydrant. It's a special kind of hydrant for cold weather states. It's supposed to not have your pipes freeze and protect it. Well, guess what happened? Put everything back to normal state for springtime. It's like, okay, no leaks, good. Turn the outside faucet. It's like, okay, water's coming out, good. No, it's not coming out. Hook up the garden hose. It's like, it's not coming out super fast. Oh, must be running the dishwasher or the laundry or something. That's why it's low pressure. No, it was low pressure because half the water was shooting across my my workshop from a burst pipe. I found this out about 20 minutes later. I mean, I shut off the water when I was done with it. But yeah, I found this out later when I went downstairs to get some food out for dinner. Get some food out of the freezer. And it's like, oh, why do we have a lake? That's not cool. Right down the middle of my workshop and then underneath a bunch of stuff. So I didn't lose too much stuff. Just a couple of soggy boxes, but it was definitely a good like 30 gallons of water by the time we mopped it all up. And there's no drain on that end of the house either. So that was fun. I did have to wipe down a couple pieces of equipment so that it wouldn't rust immediately. So that was not fun. But no, so one of the projects for this last weekend, while I was still sick, was to replace that burst pipe and put a new faucet on. And yeah, it was a little bit of trouble. I looked at it and it had the one that burst had a manufacturer stamp of 2009 on it. Which means this has happened before, because our house was built in the 90s. So when I get some time, I'm going to, I think what the problem is that the the pipe where the special drain valve is, I'm thinking it's not level, or it's not tilted the right way. So water was there anyways. Because if this has happened more than once, yes, I don't want to be having this same problem again in 10 years. 2009, 15 years. Where were we? But yeah, so that was part of my fun this weekend. But yes, I'm pretty good with soldering together some pipes. I even bought the easy slip fit connection, but it was an inch too short, so I had to splice in some extra pipe. It was a little disappointing with that. Okay, now update is called, I know, update's called once per frame. You think after you write a few scripts, Unity would stop being super helpful about this, or Visual Studio would stop being super helpful about this. We don't need anything in update yet. We're going to add the selection keys here. We're going to add a void saying select. No, what? No. Why are we being helpful? Hold on. Can I find the void type? Field cannot have void type. Oh. Let me get private void. Selected. Select item. Okay, it felt better about that. I must have pressed something too fast. I was coding all day, and I've been hitting tab a lot for the lovely autocomplete or suggested IntelliSense stuff here. Like this. It's like, oh hey, you have a variable up here. Is this what you want to do? That's not what I want to do. It's not a terrible idea. Okay, let's do that. No, I don't want a J. For each yep. Things transform. Let's call it item. Okay, item's not protected. Oh, item is protected. Thing? That's just a variable. Okay, each item in transform. That's what we want to do. If I is equal to, yes, we want to do that. Then item. Wow. Thank you. Some good machine learning we got going on here. Whoops. Good machine learning we got going on in these parts. Get rid of that. Else we'll do the opposite. True? Oh, I got these backwards. Very helpful, but still got to double check things. Okay. So when we run selected item, it'll go through all of the items. It'll grab all the child items. In this case, game objects, most likely game objects that are within the place that the script is on, the container script. So making this for generic for all containers. I'm going to call them containers instead of like equipment points or equipment slots, at least for the script's purposes. And then, oh, we have to increment that. Okay, so this will go through, yeah, it'll go through all the items, and we're going to have one item active at a time. And it'll be the selected item. Selected item, they're numbered. Because they're a collection. And collections start at 0. So we're starting at 0. So this means one item will always be selected. And this is going to be a toggle. Yes. So just like how I currently have it. So how I currently have it is hats, H, the H key. H is for hat. So anything that's on my head, it'll go through them. But the way I have it set up now is they're kind of hard coded in. Hat 1, hat 2. That's how it's set up here. So it goes from no hat, hat 1, hat 2, back to no hat. What we're going to do here is the same thing, except it'll just take the whole collection of items and go through it. So we don't have to have, it'll take any of these without me explicitly saying, you're an item 2, you're item 3. It'll just be like, what do we got here in this box of items? Let's take the top one, then the next one, then the next one, and set the proper states. I'm going to put another script within the items so that, let's say I have it selected, I can then activate it or use it. So those are going to be put in the items. So let's say I have, let's say I got a gun, right? And I want to shoot the gun. Well, that would have, the gun would have its own script, but something like this would cycle through my weapons. So that makes sense. I figured it makes the most sense to me. I went through a couple of YouTube tutorials. That's where I got the idea for most of this. Yeah, for most of this. Okay, so on start, do we do anything on start? We don't really need to do it. Well, yeah, we'll do something on start. It'll cycle through all the weapons. Oh, also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an empty item for the first item. So that will just show nothing. it'll activate it, set it active, but there won't be anything there. So that'll be my default slot. Or default item in the slot. Because that might not necessarily be the case. Maybe I do want things to be selected there. But yeah, I figured this would be the best way to go through the toggles. For now, I'm going to hard code the keybinds. What I'll want to do is make another public or serialized field, probably. I'll make a serialized field. I wonder why they made this public in the demonstration. But what I'll do is I'll probably have another field here. I'll make a note for that. Let's see. Variable or keybind, because it'll be different depending on where I want to drop it. Selected keys here. If input key down, key code dot, where's my alpha? Alpha 1. This will be selected item +1. There. Problem with this is it'll just keep going. And they had a whole bunch of if-thens to take care of this, to like reset it. Okay, let's see. On start, you know what? On start, we are going to transform item in transform. let's get total items equal to... we should probably put this in a try in case there's nothing. Transform items in transform. How do you get the child items without doing this loop? No, let's try. Let's try. Transform item in transform. So what is transform? Component.transform. Okay. Transform attached to this game object. So aha! Look at that! Look at that! Child count. That should do it. The number of children in this parent transform has. Brilliant. Okay, so total items will be the integer value, so that'll be, but we're starting at 0. So excuse me. If collected item is greater than total items. Oops. Make it private while we're at it. Can we make it private? Yeah, let's make it private. And total items. Yeah, just make it 0. Fix that right here. Total items. It's greater than total items. Should be total items plus 1. So we're going to cheat a little bit right here. Right? Or total items minus 1. Minus 1. Because we're using the index. Otherwise, we could start with it right here and have I be 1. Well, let's see if this works. Then selected item is 0. Ta-da! That should cycle through the stuff. No, that will not cycle through the stuff. We need to call selected item. Or select item. Select item. Bam. There. Let's give that a shot. Is that all we need? That should be all we need. You know, I bet they made selected item public just so they could keep an eye on it for the demo. That did not do it. Okay, the head point has 2 things. Just select them. If I is a selected item, you know, we're going to make this public too, so we can keep an eye on it. Importing assets. Total items 1. Which makes sense because I have 2 of them here. I want 0 and 1. So... oh my gosh, really? Okay, it does work. I am on the wrong model. Wait, why are we not getting our tracking? Oh, see, I had them mixed up. I thought this was, okay. It works. It does work. I had this mixed up because I thought this was the tracking. Obviously it's not, because when I have to do all the different setups for the 3D, the extra 3D tracking, I need my a couple extra things turned on, and I had them turned off in VSeeFace. Okay, now we can toggle through. Ta-da! Oh, that's fun. Okay, so that works. That works now. That is our basic item container code. Welcome in, Shrillduck. We just wrote ourselves a little script to toggle through items. Toggle through items in a container, or equipment slots. And because, you know, I could have it toggled to be like -1, and then -1 would be everything's disabled, but that'd be adding another if then. And the tutorial video did have something like that built in, and I don't really care for that. So what I'm gonna do is just make empty game object. I'm gonna call it empty head, because that's amusing to me. I'm gonna plop it right there, and that should take care of that problem. Empty head, and bum, bum, bum. Ta-da! Excellent. So now we can drop this same script, because it's a universal type of script. I can drop it on any spot. So the hands, anything I'm holding. Yeah, anything. Well, any spot that I would want a prop. I can't use it to go between my skins, I don't think. No, I can't, because they're handled elsewhere. If you look down here, I do still have the farmer. Is the farmer hooked up? I don't think the farmer's properly skinned in this one, is it? Yeah, no. Those color atlases are off. He's got quite a bit of ketchup on him. I don't think he's supposed to have ketchup on him. We'll go back to the other outfit. Too much ketchup. You can't change your hands. I can't yet. I am working on with the new updated model. I am working on having 5 fingers. Yes. And what thwarted me before, because I thought I was running into some weird Maya to VRM to Unity issue. No, it wasn't that. It was because my test modeling, where I made a 5-fingered hand in the same model here. When I went to try it out for tracking, the fingers would go all off, super weird and gross. The problem is that I have my tracking mirrored in VSeeFace. So what you're seeing right now is the model's left hand, but the operator's right hand. So it's mirrored. So when I was testing it, I had the left hand, you know, what you see right here, moving right now. This had 5 fingers, but it was tracking it with this hand, which only has 3 bones or 3 joints in it. So when I would test it, everything would be all screwed up. It's like, oh no, seriously, all I had to do was just turn off tracking. It was very sad. It was a very sad day. I think I still have that in here. Do I have hands? Rusty hands. Here we go. So, notice how the fingers are all screwed up? Wait, is this showing? And yeah, see how the fingers are all screwed up? See how they're not screwed up now? Yeah. I mean, they look funny because there's a quick test. I didn't make proper proportions, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4, whoop. So that's a very sad day. Very sad day. Let's go back to someone with this one. Nope, not that one. This one. This one. Ta-da! Turn off that one. But yes, so we will have different hands. Although, one of the things I do want to get back into, or one of the original ideas, and why I have this business suit and these low poly assets, I wanted to be able to change outfits, change costumes, without having to do everything myself. So, for instance, oops. Turn off. Nope. This one. For instance, here we got a farmer outfit, right? I didn't want to have to model an outfit every time, so I took it from the asset pack, made a few modifications right around this area somewhere, and boom, I have a new outfit, right? New costume. But I don't want to have to model hands every time either. So one of the modifications I might do is make the hands separate. So they would parent to the same joint in Unity, at least. And then the costumes just wouldn't have hands. They'd be invisible, essentially. That way I can also swap hands. So I could have robot hands. You know, I could have, these Play-Doh, Play-Doh putty hands. Ideas. Yeah, so you say that the it's kind of what you like about Unreal is that the bone sockets are great, makes it easy to switch clothes. The version of that in Unity would be the armature. So let's see if we can pull up one here. Well, and I'm also taking an extra step that I don't technically need to, but it makes it easier for the tracking, is I'm using VRM models. So I'm using Vroid, the Vroid standard format, so that the tracking is all set up for the VTuber stuff right into here. That did simplify things. Doesn't have to be. You can go onto any humanoid model, because these are, here we go, avatar. I would have to go find an avatar. Rusty avatar. It's gonna show me. No, okay. It's more of a setup dealio. But yeah, it's more of a setting up things. So I don't think I can. Not sure exactly where it is. It'd be in this project, but when I'm setting up, for instance, the VTuber model of myself, adding all the blend shapes in and the targets and everything, so that they translate between programs easily. Yeah, it uses the armature, the humanoid setup or whatever, and it's basically a drag and drop. For instance, my eyes. They're not humanoid eyes, but they are on joints just like it would if I'm a humanoid model. So stuff like that. If I wanted to, I could have my antenna here hook up to my arm, so it moves whenever my arm moves or something like that. You can just drag and drop in different spots there instead of digging into the joints themselves. Oh, that's also why I can switch models, or I can switch characters easily, is because they're all attached to the same armature. Blend meshes. Hoping that Unreal 6 aren't they only on like 5.4 or something like that? They're really cruising through those dot numbers though. They're really cruising through those dot numbers. Wasn't it earlier this year they were just on like 5.1, 2? Okay, where were we? We were at the head point. Did we have any other headgear? Or just a scope dog and the Patlabor? I don't know if I have the FBX for this handy, do I? We could drop that in too. I'm gonna save before I forget. Okay, so we have item container script. We can hide total items. We'll worry about that later. Yeah, oh, I know for Unity, we just had a release of 6.1. So this is 6, and they just had a stable release of 6.1, which I believe I'll use that. I don't think I'm going to wait around for 6.2, because that's going to be later in the year. I think for the big merged project, the start over project, I'm going to use 6.1, and they did some nice stuff with the rendering and lights. So hopefully no more flickering lights when we have too many of them on because of my poor optimization. Oh, wait. We're using the right model. Cheers. Mug. Gotta add the mug in too. Oh, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I can have that toggle right in here. Okay, where are we? Oh, wait, before that, I have to set up my outbound. There it is. Send data. That should do it. There we go. Yeah, I had the outbound data from VCFace was disabled. There we go. Oh, I was experimenting with some VR type tracking. There we go. Hello. Okay. I forgot how much fun this was. I haven't worn this helmet in a long time. And one of these days I will smooth out the tracking. Oh, big ass Patlabor headset. Yeah. We need to have another Mecha Modeling Monday stream, but I'm really wanting to get this project under control. Yeah, to get this project all under control. Okay, let's stop that. We're going to add this container script to the hand stop. Unreal has a tournament. If you win, they give you money to help you with, like kind of a grant kind of thing. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Okay, so flashlight is on the hand. Ooh, I don't think I want to toggle through the flashlights. No, I want the flashlight to be its own thing still, so... Or do I? Okay, which hand is the flashlight? That's the right hand. And is the right hand also the hand that I use for picking up objects? Where's my script for that? Where is the pickup script? I pick things up, I put them down. Object grab point. Grab point floats in front of us, but what if we are passing items from hand to hand? Well, let's go back to our big script of scripts. Well, that's our teleport script. Here's player pickup and drop. Okay, I do have it on the hand transforms. I think it just sets the location. I don't think it adds it to the hand. Good though. So my idea with this is with the hand spots, I might have to modify the container script. But what I would do is I'd pick up the item and add it to my inventory, essentially. So everything I pick up would then be added to this. Yeah, it would have to have its own part of the pickup script, or would it add it to the inventory? But then I'd be able to cycle through objects in my hand or in my inventory. So that might require a little bit more thought, because I was thinking then I could have my duplicate script also on there. So if I pick up a ball, I can then have throw the ball, but it's still half a ball, of course. Part of this, the duplicate this object. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. The duplicate this object. Currently it's prop chair, but what it could be is duplicate whatever is I'm holding. That was the goal. That was one of the goals of this. Yes, right here in my notes from today. Instantiate item being held from the item container. Because it would be in the selected object. So I would have to add it to the object. Does that work? I'm gonna have to look that up. That might be a look up later kind of thing. I like this idea though. I like this idea. For now, I think I will merely cycle through the things there. Mega Mocap, welcome in. I am finally adding in my equipment slots. So I can cycle through, not toggle, but cycle through objects that are attached to me. Finally. So what we have is I moved my headgear to a head point. The current item is empty head. This is a nice little script. It just it cycles through the collection of child objects. Back to empty head. So now I don't have to have them all hard-coded as hat 1, hat 2, hat 3. Loadout, yes. So I was thinking about doing that for the hand, but I'm going to look up the best way to add items to a collection at runtime, because I want to be able to pick up an item and then do stuff with it. If it has a activate script, be able to activate it, like let's say a weapon, fire the weapon, right? So I'll cycle through whatever weapons are in my hand, essentially pulling them out of inventory or picking up something and adding it to the hand's inventory. and then being able to use it, like pick up a flashlight, use the flashlight. The way to cheat with that is already have all those items in my hand. And then when I touch, say, a flashlight in the wild, that flashlight disappears, but it switches to the right selected object in my hand. That would be the most efficient way to do that. But I want to be able to pick up any pick-upable object. Or grabbable. There we go. I have it in here as grabbable object. So pick up any grabbable object, add it to the collection of objects at runtime, and then be able to use it if it has a use type script. Yeah. But no, the at least for starting, I think I will have it already in my hand. Invisible in my hand, just like I have these current hats. Mm-hmm. So what are you up to tonight? Let's see. Script. We don't need to make this public anymore. In fact, we don't need to make this public. Well, let's leave it public just so we can see it. Get you a collection that can do both. I wonder, well, no, this is just for selecting through the items and setting them active. So I think I should have the keybind for activating an object on the item itself. Maybe? Or I would call the activate script from here. When a selective object, let it listen for, I'll have to think about that one. I will have to think about that one. It might be best to put it on the item itself. I'll look up to see how other people do it. You know, you can cycle through weapons, but how do you use them? Is that code on the weapon or on the weapon holder? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. I think it's on the weapon itself. So the item in this case. I'm scrolling through a tutorial over here. Get key code. Yeah, okay, so their weapon selection script is just for switching through the weapons. That makes sense. All right. Cool. Got that ironed out. But yeah, I still think it would be nice to be able to grab any item, and at least, well, no, I already can. I already can grab it and use it because it gets attached to the hand point. But I can't add it to my inventory. Okay, so for instance, let's go. Where's our lovely Hennajar? There's Hennajar. I'm not sure if he's grabbable, but these are. Okay, so right now, this is in front of me, but I can transfer it between hands with which key? No? No? Uh-oh, did I disable that? I might have disabled it. Oh, wait a second. Nope, where is it? Where are you? Come back here. Come back here. You. Pick you up. It's only in FPS mode. Ah. It's only in first person mode that I can grab an object. Okay. And then switch hands? Switch hands? I gotta look at my key bindings. And this let's go. Okay. It would still be in first person mode, obviously. Okay. So let's go back. First person mode, where are you? Come on, VR. Work with me here. That'd be way easier if I had the item up on top of something. Or if I could crouch. There we go. Aha. Okay, you're in this hand. You're in your big item. If I hadn't taken a big item. Are you swapped hands? No? How about now? How about now? No. Okay. Okay, that is evident before I make y'all vomit with my head shaking. I need to go look up my code for that. That's under my first-person controller script. My pseudo VR, where it's controlled by my VTuber motion tracking. Which I would love for it to be not toggleable, but another version of it to be actually VR. Not sure if I would run that as a separate instance of the whole project, or if I'd be able to toggle between it somehow. I don't know if I'd want to actually stream all of this in VR, or if I want to keep it flexible as it is. More of a game and environment. Okay, so we can do that. Grab stuff in the hand spot. Okay, good enough. That's good. You know, that's good enough for today. Okay. Items in the hand. The flashlight toggles on and off. We can finally release the hat key. Okay. And I want to make a marker. That has been in my to-do list for a long time. Let's add another game object here. Create empty marker. The same as the flashlight hand. Ooh, let's see if we can finally get the trail renderer to work. Let's see if we can finally get that trail renderer to work. Ooh, cool. We're gonna have to play with this in play mode. Oh, geez. Guess what does not like... Guess what does not like shaders? I wonder if if trail render's been deprecated. Wow. Wow. Is there a Unity 6 trail render that has been deprecated? Or is trail renderer not made for URP? Let's shrink that. Bring that width down a little bit. Okay, come on. Better, a little better. There we go. You know, I figured this would be the easiest way to do this. Okay. Material, no material. That's probably why. Let's give it, what's my eye? My eye glow. Eye? Nope. Blue? What's my eye material? Got a billion materials in here. Iris. And apparently I have multiple irises. Okay, let's go with the glowiest one. There we go. Now it has a material, so now it's happy with that. That is so cool. That is so cool. I got this tip. I was watching one of Sabidriel's Vignan streams, and she briefly mentioned the trail render being used as a marker in VR. Like that's how they would do that in like VR chat. It's like, oh, that's just the trail render. I'm like, oh, you know, it's not gonna have glow sticks. Glow sticks, but also there we go. And we can change the amount of time. Let's make it like 10 so it sticks around for a while. Oh, nope. Not that. That's not what I wanted. Okay, redo. Oh, none of this is gonna stick around. That's okay. Okay, where is... Okay, it's emitting, it's applying the color space. Generate lighting data? Oh, that'd be sweet. So it would actually glow. I think right now it's a fake glow. I don't think it's... You know, that is pretty bright. It might actually be emitting. Yep, it is. You can see it affecting the shadows around my face here. Okay. Align to view. Align it to Z. So we can do this in 3D space. Oh, that's cool. Playing around. Make it a little thinner. Can we make it a tube? I don't know if the trail render can be a tube. Corner vertices. Whoa. That was interesting. What did that do? Oops. There's my microphone. The vertices stick around longer. That is weird. I don't think I want that effect. We'll make that 0. I remember trying to figure out more about the trail render in the past and came to the conclusion because honestly I wanted glowy eyes. I wanted my eyes to follow back and forth, but it was something about the way that my eyes moved too much that it kept throwing off the trail render. Yeah, I couldn't use it because it like kept instantiating new instances of the trail render. It was really odd, a really odd error. So so I decided I was going to go with shader graph effects instead. Yep, that lingering cold. Definitely a little bit of that lingering cold. Okay. That's cool. What else do we have in here? Well, that's about it for settings. You know, alignment view and alignment Z appear to give the same results. Actually, alignment view has better results. You can see it in the reason I have the same two windows open, so I can see what it's doing. Man. So I can see what it's doing and what it looks like at the same time. I would like to add in more, make it smoother. I'm not sure. Let's see how it minimum vertex distance. Okay, so let's make this. Come on. Nope. Why am I not? Interesting. It's not letting me change this at runtime, I think. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now let's make this really, really tiny. Oh, that is super smooth now. It's probably doing something nasty with my my calculations though. So let's make it you can't change it at runtime apparently. Or I mean you can't type in it. There. Nice and smooth. That is cool. Look at that go. So, one of the coolest things, one of the really cool operations that I immediately thought of for this, when I first saw that this was a thing, light cycles. Super, super easy to implement for light cycles. I mean, it's literally Tron. I just have the width turned way down, but you can absolutely have this be the Tron light cycle, or it's just the easiest implementation of it. The light trail. I was just thinking if you wanted something more sophisticated, like Nyan Cat. Yeah, Nyan Cat would be, you would want to do a particle effect to get the rainbow and everything. But yeah, no, this is super satisfying. And it's 3D. It's just not looking so 3D right now, unless I go like this. Here, let's get the zoom around. And it's being properly occluded and everything. And this is an emitting material, so... Which way did he go? That way! Yeah. Yeah, glow sticks. I can rave in here. You know, I wonder if I could get it to work how I had wanted it to work. But I still think what I'm looking for is the shader graph. Shader graph, I think, is what I'm looking for making all my glowy parts, the eyes and the mouth, making those have motion trails. Pretty sure that'd be better served by a properly set up shader, and not this, because this, I mean, it looks neat right now, but one of the problems is that it is it's a line. You know, it's a line. It's not like, it doesn't have volume. It's not a tube. And I wasn't sure there was a way to, let's see. Stretch tile, repeat percent. There might be a settings to have it trail off, to fade instead of do this, snake game here. Because I mean, ideally, let's see, ideally as it's disappearing, it wouldn't be that harsh line. It would be kind of a fading line. Which maybe there's a setting for it. Yeah, there might be a setting for it. Maybe if I use a different material, a material with a gradient built in, that might do it. You know what? While we're in here, let's just pick a different material. Let's pick something with. Oh, wow. That is cool. Okay. So now it's obeying my color gradient right here. This is exactly what I was just talking about. That is super cool. Okay, now the thing is, I need to put this on my finger. Index finger. I am going to screenshot this first. Oh, so that's interesting. The shader that I randomly chose, or the material, I should say, the material. Yeah, you can see it right above Winamp here. That I just randomly chose because it had a gradient on it. It is a legacy particle material. So it makes sense that a particle material would be doing exactly what I want it to for like a particle type reaction. This is so cool. Okay. So we're going to get out of Play Editor and see what's stuck. Yeah, 5.03. None of it. Okay. Bring that way the hell back down. What was that at? Where's that screenshot? I do love having easy access to screenshot stuff. Windows snipping tool. I have it hotkeyed. Pro tip here. Pro gamer tip. I have it hotkeyed to one of my mouse buttons because I use it all the time. And fun fact, I have two mouses usually side by side on my desk here, because one is for this computer, my desktop computer, and the other one is my work computer because I work from home. And they are the same model of mouse. So they don't make them anymore. I'm so sad. I'm so sad when these die. They're wired, so there's no latency. And they are a Logitech, hashtag not sponsored. What is this? It's the MMO mouse. Could bring up like G-Hub. Not that it matters because you wouldn't be able to buy a new one anyways. It is a G600. The G600 MMO mouse, because there are let's see, 3x4. There's 12 buttons. 12 buttons on the thumb that are all assignable with macros or whatever. Fantastic. I've been using these since my 3D modeling days. Eons ago. And so now I don't have a lot of those commands mapped to it, and you can set different profiles, which is cool. But I have like copy, paste, select all, some other useful things. And yes, screenshot. So I can just bring that up at the click of the button. I think it's literally just a map to print screen. Either print screen or was it Windows S for the snipping tool? Okay. Oh, come here. Okay, what did we put for? This is 0.03. Now we can play with this. Okay. No. Yes. Material. Oh, how are we gonna find that material? Oh, right there. FX lighting. Cast shadow. It does cast shadows. Okay. We could do generate lighting data, which might be fun. View stretch. Yes, yes. Not masked. We could set it so that it doesn't interact with certain types of objects. That would be. That's what they mean by. Oh wait, no, that's not that one. Usually you can have items. Here we go. Rendering layer mask. You can have items interact with other layers, and by layers they mean you can assign objects to a layer. Like for instance, it would only be able to interact with your player, or NPCs, or your interface, whether it's being affected by post-processing effects or not. And this should be, because I have it set to default, so it's not filtering out. Oh yeah, you can see that right here. It's not being filtered out from post-processing, which would make it look even cooler. However, the trailer renderer itself might not be compatible with post-processing. We should be able to see. We should be able to see just based on how scrungly it looks. Okay, do I have the rest of the settings? Yeah, I think that was it. I didn't change a whole lot of the settings. Camera motion? Per object motion, that's what it was. Okay, per object motion. Yep, there we go. Okay, save that for sure. Oh, no, we're going to move it. We're going to move it to index finger. Oh, our finger. I already have a spot for it. Oh, because I had the flashlight attached to the finger at one point. There, marker. We're gonna have to add that to a hotkey, so we can toggle it on and off. Definitely, so we can toggle it on and off. Oh, this hand. Wait a second. That's interesting. It is not in the right spot. And yes, it is definitely being affected by post-processing, because yeah, you can see that. Here, let me zoom in. Lock that. Hide that. Okay, let's get away from whatever that is. Okay. So I think it's still attached to the wrist. I'll have to reset its transforms. I think it still thinks it's at the wrist, but you're watching the Disney Channel. Whee! Oh yes, Tinkerbell flying around my head. Whoa, okay, so look at that, it is in 3D space because I can move my head through it. And it's being affected by the post-processing because there's color separation in the corner here. Like watch as the blues separate. Yeah. And I think the reason it's trailing, the trail render's trailing, that's trailing behind the hand is because there's a gradient at the start and at the end. So unfortunately it has a gradient at the start. I'll have to tweak that. I know, that is definitely a cool effect. And I could enable different ones too. So I could have that blue line, and I could have, you know, this line, and just toggle through them. Toggle through the container. Oh, that is neat. That is neat. Maybe I should try the experiment from a long time ago. Duplicate marker 1. We'll just leave it as marker 1 for now. And where's my eyes? Nope, not that eyes. This eye. The eye that gets renamed because there's another eye. Let's just put it there for now. Marker 1. Aha. There we go. I need to do that up here too. Clear the offset. That's one thing that I'm not sure why it does it. I should look into it. When you move something, when you move a game object or something from game object to game object, it does something with the offsets, the positions. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm sure if I took an actual Unity course, this would have been one of the early things. Okay, so now it should be at the end of the finger for one thing. And there should be another one at the eye. Now let's see if it freaks out like it used to. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit here. We'll have to change this one. That looks so cool. It's obviously the wrong color. And in the wrong spot. Because it is at the eye rotation, and it does need to be offset to where the eye is. But it's not flipping out. So maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance in the past. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. Okay, we have to do this. Changing the Z offset by a little bit. Maybe right about there. Oh my gosh, are you serious? You can change the shape right here. Why is it in this little pop-up window? Why? Why is it not anywhere in here? It's bizarre. I mean, I know that most of the effects, they have these little pop-ups, so you can simulate them. I mean, it's not going to do anything right now because I'm not moving and it's attached to me. Okay, I want to be on this one though. So for instance, whoa, where's it going? I don't know where it's going. Hold on, never mind. But yeah, you can change the shape and everything right there. Now this shape, or the shape size at least, is right here. Is this graph, because you can control it like the fall off. So it starts off as a circle and then goes narrow, which is what I would want to do for this. But why is it here and not here? Well, I guess we can do this live. There we go. Oh, that is 100% what I want, though. That's awesome. A lot shorter fall off than the other one, though. Oh, that is so cool. That is definitely an anime effect right there. Speed lines. Oh, initial D. Oh, like any racing, any racing racing anime with like tail lights. You know, Akira famously, or initial D. You know, that is a cool effect. Still way too long. There we go. That's better. Okay, so where's that? Where'd that little window go? Where did the little window go? Okay. There we go. Okay, you can clearly see it right here. See how it's flipping out? That's because the rotational data is like constantly coming through. So I think anytime I move slightly, or you know, my joint, the eye joint moves slightly, I think it starts over. And when I first experimented with this, I was running into that problem. Because it would just be like this little bluish, you know, whatever the default trail looked like. And it would just be like constantly like blah, 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 blah. There we go. That is very interesting to see side to side. Okay, so can we add points? Head key. There we go. Yeah, so here is where I think it will not work for the eyes. Like, look at that go. It's definitely wiggling now. Yeah, so what I would do... and I thought about this before too. So the thing is this would be solved with, I believe, a different, like a particle effect. You know, if I spawned a particle effect right in front of my eye, that did basically the same thing. This is just I think this is a very light way of doing it. It'd be nice to take care of that jitter. Motion vector. Man, that is something. Camera motion. Nope, it's all over the place. Yeah, so yeah, this should be an actual particle emitter. And it's almost there. It is almost there. It is almost there. Let's bring it down just a little bit here. Yeah, it was great when it was just a pinpoint. When it was pinpoint, like for the finger, that's perfect. You know, that is just perfect. But it's so much more noticeable when it's big sized. Maybe if I squint. Squint. What if we try one of these other things? Wait for the finger to trail off? Okay. You know, it's not as jittery. It's not as jittery. Time 5. Gotta shorten that time up though. No, it's still there. It's still bouncing all over the place. Vania died. Nice. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I do plan on looking into better particles. One of the fun particles I do have. Oh, this will be interesting. We'll be like stacking stuff on top of stuff. So there's a particle emitter right there. Ta-da! See, no goofy shader lines or anything like that. You can see the other one following behind. It's still attached to my eyes. It's funny. Oh, and behind the scenes spoiler. This is still doing my hand tracking because I'm just hiding the body. This is where the hide the bodies variable that I showed you way earlier in the stream. Yeah, it's only hiding the body. And apparently the trail renderer being part of the body doesn't matter. So it doesn't hide all the children, it doesn't hide the children. It just hides the body. Oh, that eye thing is pretty cool though. One way I could get around jitter. I'm sure if you look close enough at the finger, it's probably bouncing all over the place too. But one way I could get rid of jitter is have it be attached to the head, but not the eye. And it still might move around quite a bit too. But it wouldn't work because, it wouldn't work for the iris. Because while the camera lens, you can't see my hands, there you go. While the camera lens, the iris stays in the center. For the screen eye, you can see it bounces all over the place. Intentionally. Because it's moving around on the screen. Or at least it appears to be. Nope, okay, I am satisfied with that. That is a good place to end the stream, I think. Here we go, guys. Should we go center screen? There we go. Let's see. Doing this in 3D, you gotta think about it. Mwah. And scene. Okay, that is cool. The little glint in my eye. Really sells the heart, I'm sure. Oh, did I have the cursor in the middle of the screen too? Yeah, let's move the cursor to the side. Chat. Mwah. Ta-da! All right. And on that note, I could have had orange eyes while I was doing that. I could have been evil. Evil. Yeah, the prop cycling and the cool trails. Yeah, I thought for being as under the weather as I am, that was a fairly successful stream. I made good progress. I didn't get frustrated by trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with the code because it all went pretty well. I mean, tutorials do help, and I modified the one I was using, but as we do. All right. On that note, I think we will find somebody, raid. Find somebody to raid and call it a night. So thank you all for stopping by. Oh man, this evil eye trail is still pretty cool just as it is. Yeah, thank you all for stopping by. I'm not really seeing any folks here. I guess we might just call it a night. It's a quiet night tonight. Quiet night tonight. Thank you for all stopping by. Oh, glint in my eye really sells this. Thank you for all stopping by. Monday is going to be the next theoretical stream. Probably more of this to keep it with the Monday dev type stuff, or at least the project work stuff, and then Wednesday a game. We should be starting a new game. Yes. I'm amused by my own effects here. All right. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll catch y'all later.